What is going on, everybody? I'm happy about this video today. Welcome back. We're going to be reviewing one of my newest sponsors lines of discs, the H13 lineup. I've got my putters and drivers. So let's go do some field work and play a few holes. Let's go. Alrighty, so like I said, I've got my drivers and putters, which they don't really have a mid-range just yet, but the companion is their it's 4401. It's a little straight, but it's kind of their only, like, I guess, mid-range, but it's really like a putt and approach style disc. But like I said, we're going to be out here doing some field work. I'm going to do one round of backhands, all four of them, and throw back this way for forehands. And then we'll play 3 holes out here, 2 for these, 1 for these, just because they're putters and all. So yeah, so let's start out with the drivers. You've got their Crimson. They did a special run of these. I've got number 2 out of 80. They only did 80, so being part of the team does have its perks. But they have it's the Wonderless 12.5 -1.2. When I threw it a little bit, it was kind of stable, but also I didn't really throw it too well. But since I've been working on my form and everything, it's made it work. So let's see how it flies. So yeah, when you put it on hyzer, it's not a terrible distance, I will say, but it's just like it's a little bit more stable for my liking than what I would want, but make it work. The next one we have is the Adventurer, 7.5 -1.1. I like this one a little bit more. It kind of reminds me of probably my Sycamore that I have currently in the bag, from AGL. Sadly, probably should have brought it. Probably should have brought a lot of them. If you want to see comparisons to these discs in the future, leave comments down below of that. But so yeah, very much like this one. And the cool thing about H13, which we'll get into more a little bit, is they're Gateway affiliated. So it's very, very cool there. So very happy to be partnered with them along with Gateway. So let's see how this one flies. Okay, little flippy, but I think I put some highs on it, and the wind is blowing out here right now, so it kind of makes that work. Still not terrible distance, but probably could have got it a little farther. So like I said, the next one, Companion 4401. This one kind of like, it's kind of basically like a straighter version of my Zone, and I'm in a way, but let's see how it flies. Also a little flippy, but I think it's just like, one thing about my form, and you'll be able to see when I'm throwing, it's I'm always kind of trying to turn them over, so probably not good for that one. The Adventurer did kind of come out a little bit, just threw it a little low, so not terrible. But the last one, which this one currently is in the bag, is the Embark 3401. It's kind of a slower version of the Adventurer, or I'm sorry, no, the Companion, my bad. But I very much like this one. From every time I've thrown it, it's been straight with a little turn to the right on the backhand. I haven't thrown it on forehand because, if you know, I'm not a huge fan on forehanding putters. There's only certain ones that I do. But let me show you how this one flies. Oh yeah, the wind. Probably not a good day to be throwing out here in the wind, but so yeah. But you kind of get the gist of, like, okay, the Wanderlust, despite how windy it is out here right now, which I could even show you, it's just kind of all over the place. It's more going right to left when you're standing out that way. But very much like all of them. Like the Wonderlust is like it's pretty stable, but it might be the plastic. But they do have a few different versions of each one of them in different plastics. So if you want to go try those out, link will be down in the description along with my discount code. But then you saw the other three, the Adventurer. It's like even though it kind of turned over just a little, it still kind of came out towards the end. The Companion and the Embark both basically, it's like it kind of held that angle along, and then the wind kind of just took it. So I'm gonna go get those real quick, and then we'll see how they do on a forehand. Alrighty, so now we're gonna do some forehands. Um, honestly, like I love all these, but I haven't thrown on any of them on forehand yet, so this is gonna be a first for me. But a little bit about the Wonderlust, you can see it's got a little bit of a dome to it. Not, it's kind of almost a little flat. It's a little pop toppy, which I really like it. But it's not really like 100% in the bag for this year because I've got my bag pretty much set. But I could see this making a run for next year. But let's see how it flies. Yeah, just nice and stable. Not terrible, but it's just like I said, it's I'm not obviously if you've watched the channel, you've heard me complain about my forehand. My forehand is almost garbage. But and also obviously as the time I'm filming this, there is a storm coming in here in Alabama, so the wind is blowing. So I try to get out here to film a video for y'all because I do anything it takes. But so this is like I don't really throw forehands too often, even in tournaments. Um, like sometimes where a hole might require a forehand, but I always try to, like when I'm on the tee, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, can I throw a backhand on this hole, like to make it work? Because like one pro, for example, Isaac Robinson, who just won Worlds. If you didn't see, he won back-to-back World Championships. He's a primarily dominant backhand player. So, and like I was watching Worlds coverage this year, and I don't think I saw him throw hardly any forehands. He maybe threw like one or two, but that's about it. But and that's kind of how kind of I am. I try not to throw too many forehands unless the hole is like, because like hole 2 here at Oliver, it's basically you're riding a fence line, so it's kind of you would have to go over the baseball field into almost like your scary OB shot. So that's why I try to go forehand to try to just get it there. So it's kind of one of those things that I try to do everything I can to avoid the forehand, but when it requires it, it requires it. But enough talking. Let's throw the Adventurer on a forehand, and you can see this one is a lot more domier. It's from what I found out, because like I said, they are Gateway affiliated. They took um, they took one disc and then kind of made the bottom their own. It was a saber that they took the top of. This is saber top with just a random bottom that they kind of made where it's not really that much of a difference. It's kind of got a, yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of got a little bead right here on the edge of the rim. So it kind of it's just they wanted to try to basically branch out on their own. So that's kind of how they did it. But let's see how this one flies on a forehand. Came out a little, and it kind of flipped up just a little, but it came out so wobbly because I threw it like right as I threw it, I felt it come out a little early on my hand. I will say the Adventurer, it's not my favorite of the whole lineup just because of that little bit. It kind of messes with my head a little bit when I'm throwing. So it's not my favorite, but I can see where it could make a little, maybe make the bag, but it's probably not. But now the Companion 4401, like I said, this one, it's almost board flat, but it's got a slight dome to it, but not terrible. And see how this one flies on a forehand. Well, when you throw it low into the ground, you can't really do much about it. But This is why I don't really throw forehands. So, but it was kind of flying a little straight into the ground, as you probably just saw, but don't expect my forehands to be good. That's why it's hard for me to do reviews like this. But also, like I said, these are kind of putters, so I don't really like throwing it. And also, the rim on the inside was a little shallower. This is kind of more, the embark here is more deeper, so it's a lot better. So that's one reason why the companion for forehand, I like it backhand wise. Forehand is not my favorite. So the embark, I'm gonna see how this one flies on a forehand, and let's just see. Okay, not terrible. It came out a little wobbly, but you saw it was on a hyzer angle, and then kind of came back, and then came back a little bit more to the right after it went to the left. So overall, like I said, the companion is probably the only one I'm not a huge fan of. But it's like they're okay. Like if I had to rank them on the four that they have, Embark's probably my number one, just because, like I said, I'm already bagging it as this time a video comes out. I've been bagging it for probably a few weeks. And then I would probably go Wanderlust, Adventure, and then Companion. The Wanderlust, the reason why that's my second favorite is just I kind of like the it's not the worst driver out there. It's not it's like it's a little different because of I'm not used to throwing 12 speeds, but I do like it though. So now we're gonna go play a few holes, but before we get to that, a little word about our sponsor. Alrighty, everybody. So, like I said, the sponsor of really this year, but slash this video, is H13 disc. Very happy to be partnered with them. I basically reached out to them a few months ago asking, hey, would you like to sponsor a video? But then they released their applications to join the team. I decided to join, and they accepted me. So, but a little bit about them. They're based out of I think Houston, Texas. So a little farther out. I think from what I found out, I think I'm one of the only Alabama people sponsored by H13 right now. But yeah, they're just they're a little small company. They just, like I said, they started out with one disc, turned into 2, 3, and 4, and then I think they're planning on some other mid ranges and stuff like that to hopefully come out before the end of the year, if not sometime next year. But yeah, they're very good company. If you haven't heard of them, they're, like I said, very small, so they're not big, but they are Gateway affiliated. As you can see on the back of my Embark, it says Gateway. So a lot of their molds are made by Gateway, so they're kind of affiliated with them. And me being part of Gateway makes it even perfect. So yeah, but if you want to check them out, go to h13.com and use discount code JMODGYT to save you some money there if you want to check them out. So let's get back on in the video. Alrighty, so I know I said I was going to do a few holes, but with the way the weather conditions are right now, I'm going to play just one hole, but it's going to be the driver battle. I know 7 speed, 12 speed. I know it's probably the 7 speed or the 12 speed is going to win, but I'm going to be putting with the Companion, which, if you saw, it's a shallower rim, so it gives a little bit more of a disadvantage in putting for me, especially. And then the Adventurer is going to have the Embark, so it kind of gives you the better, more known putter in the H13 lineup compared to a not so much putter. So we're going to do, like I said, the driver battle, just to kind of make it work. But 12 speed will go first, just to see how far we can get it out there. Off of it, but went a little bit farther to the left than what I wanted. The wind kind of, when you throw it on that angle and the wind's kind of blowing that way, it's going to take it. So let's see if we can get the Adventure out there and hold a better spot. Alrighty. Not terrible for both, but let's go see if we can make it work. Alrighty, still a little distance out there from, or for the embark range, so I'm going to throw the Adventurer again just to get it out there. Alrighty, so that should be in putting range. Let's go see how the Wonderlust does. Wonderlust got down here a good bit. Still a little distance out, a ton of run up room, but I'm going to throw the companion up there to make it work. Oh, that's going to be really short, so probably going to have a put off, so let's go. So this one is for par. It's still not makeable. It's still makeable, like close. So let's see if we can get the companion in for a par. Oh, almost. So let's go see if the Embark and the Adventurer can win it for. Alrighty, so this is the win for the Embark and the Adventurer. It's a tie. Yeah, it's a tie because I haven't putted with the Embark hardly at all. I've been more throwing it. But yeah, so like I said, if you want to check them out, there's a link down in the description to my to their website and my discount code. So go check them out. So let's head on to the outro. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this edition of disc reviews with, like I said, one of my newest sponsors, H13 Disc. Very happy to be partnering with them and sponsored by them for this year. Very good discs. Like I like them. I like them all, honestly. Like the companion, I like more backhand than forehand. The Embark, more, I would say probably more backhand, but I could see with the way I threw it on a forehand out here for the review, I do like it, but it's more backhand thrower for me. The Adventure, it's got a little turn to it and everything, so I do like this one. So I could see that one, and then if I really want a stable driver, I'd go the Wonderlust. So all in all, very, very good disc. Like I said, once again, happy to be sponsored by H13 and partnering with them this year. But I'd like to give a shout out to my other sponsors. You've got Gateway Disc, Galactic Disc, Iron City Disc, and then obviously, like I said, H13 Disc. So if you want to see more from them, like specific videos or anything like that, or even the H13 guys, if you want to see me do more, I'm going to be very much happy to do it. Leave comments down below, and please like and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you all on the course.